Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports, and there you get a look at Paul Brown Stadium on the banks of the Ohio River in Cincinnati. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Denver Broncos and the Cincinnati Bengals. The kicker, Graham Gano, set to put his foot into this one. And we are underway from Cincinnati. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. They'll throw on first down with Wilson. This is Yeldon on the dump off. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it's a second down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Let's go.
On second down, here's Wilson. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. But a tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 18 yards on his first catch of the game. It's a first down. And a nice start there to the aerial attack to pick up the first.
And I think preseason is officially over now. Getting into the groove of the regular season, that's a great way to get started. First drive of the season, what a nice completion.
On the ground, this is T.J. Yeldon. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
On second down, here's Yeldon. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the shotgun, Wilson goes underneath here to White. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos first down. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did.
Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone. Because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. He goes underneath for Yeldon. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. It's a gain of 9 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and short. Here's Wilson. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Jordan Hicks leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco first down. Wilson going to lead his guys up 1st and 10. And he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. From the gun, it's Wilson. And it's caught. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Well, he did everything but get him in the end zone there, but now they're set up. Golden opportunity, strong opening drive, and they're knocking on the door.
And the way that they did it, now look where they are on the field, all right? This is naturally set up for a running play, isn't it? But with his ability to throw the football, his accuracy on this drive, you might want to think about a pass play in this situation.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Hunter Henry, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Broncos take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 8. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
Here we go. What?
Back to the air on 2nd down. Hardy. Now he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down.
All right, partner, I'm going to be Captain Obvious right here. Not the start you're looking for offensively, right? Incomplete pass, followed by a sack.
And when he went down, it looked like that right ankle got turned, but thankfully he popped up okay, and they breathed a sigh of relief on that sideline. So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime.
Here we go.
Operating from the gun, Hardy. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. This is taken around the 12. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10. Now the Broncos offense, they get set to head back onto the field. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And a dump off to White. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a 1st down. And they'll keep it on the ground with Bell. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this 1st quarter. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Bengals with a football to begin quarter number 2. They've got a 3rd down and a Yard to start things out. They'll try and run for it with Bell. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And Denver getting set to take the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
And that'll be incomplete.
Well, we've seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They think he can win every battle.
2nd and 10 now, Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. Tyler Boyd, the former Pitt Panther, was the target. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. Wilson now, operating from the gun. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. From the gun, Hardy. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fielded at the 43. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
The Bronco 1st down there, 12 yards on the play.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Over the middle, he's got Deshaun Hamilton. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And Green with a catch left side. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Third catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Now Wilson on first down. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Second and 10. It's Wilson again. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and then it's going to set up a 3rd and 1.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. Under 4 to play now. Clock running. 3rd down.
19.
Wilson will throw again. He's got his man here. It's Green. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. So we just witnessed touchdown number 1 for the Rook, and certainly that's a football he's going to want for the trophy case.
Yeah, this is one that you don't spike, right? This is one you don't throw to your teammate and let them celebrate. This is one you keep for yourself, take it over to the equipment staff, and have them mark it up, put it away, and then you get it later on, and as you said, mount it in your trophy case. Fantastic. Hopefully the first of many.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And out now, here come the Bengals. The results for them so far, not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
He's airing it out for Sanu. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown.
Now that was a beautiful play. A pick 6. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
What do you mean, with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
Fairbairn now to add the extra point. Fairbairn good with the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengal offense now gets set to head back out onto the field. And they gave up the pick 6, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up. But you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful because those defensive guys, I know the reputation.
He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Derek Barnett able to get in there and take him down for a loss of 3.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
Hey!
Looking to throw on second down. Hardy. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. Now the Bengals on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 5.
4 down, 4 down. Here we go. Grand 38. Grand 38. Hut.
Operating from the gun, Hardy. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Taken from just outside the 30. Well, nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. They go play action with Wilson. Dancing to his left. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish.
Right, 380. Hey. 4 down, 4 down.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 10. And here's Wilson. From the gun, he'll throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Jarquiski Tart. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. A first throw here for the backup Taylor, escaping the pressure right. He gets this one complete to Traquan Smith. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. So 1:55 to go in the first half. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Throwing now, Taylor on 1st down. Steps away to his left. Throwing left side, it's complete. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? A first chance in the red zone for the Bengals now. 1st and 10 right at the 20. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. A screen to Bell. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. The loss of 3 on that 1st down pass play. Now 2nd and 13. Taylor will throw again. And his throw here is incomplete. He was looking for Mohamed Sanu there. And that'll make it 3rd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
And Gano's kick is right through. And that will move the deficit from 20 down to 17. So they do get the 3 points before they hit halftime. Something to build on, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead and raise the banner, right? But wave the flag. That's good. Got points. And now, as you said, they've got something to build on as they get ready for the 2nd half.
After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff. Green to bring it back. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Now with the play clock winding down, Vance Joseph says, let's talk this over. As the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And this complete to Henry over the middle. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Well, throw on 1st down with Wilson. Flushed out right. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Carlos Henderson, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Wilson back to the air on 2nd down. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. Only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. From the shotgun, Wilson goes underneath here to White. 4 yards on the pickup, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. The Broncos on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 16. Throwing again here, Wilson. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. And now the Bengals are going to call another timeout, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Here's J.K. Scott now, as he's on to punt for Denver. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
Now Taylor. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. 2nd and 10, it's Taylor again. And Taylor cannot escape. He goes down to the end zone. And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now. Fielded just inside the 20. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. And coming out now, the Broncos. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. We'll see if week one fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. Again to Bell. Now Bell hit. He lost the football. But I think a Bengal player was able to get in there. He was. And they'll keep possession of the football.
Wow. That ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a 1st down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now it's Taylor. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. 3rd and 2, now Taylor. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And Gano's kick is right through. And that'll get the deficit back to 16. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. Incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Hunter Henry, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
Now Wilson. Going to throw again. Green's got it over the middle. Even with that broken tackle, can't go very far. Stops short of the 30. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Now Taylor to throw on 2nd down. He's got it over the middle. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A Bengal first down on the 16-yard pickup there.
With that type of force on contact, as an ex-DB, I expected the ball to come free. I really did. I thought that was going to be an incomplete pass. I've got to admire him catching it, taking the hit, and getting the first down.
Well, anytime on those crossing routes, middle third of the field, you know there's a possibility of a hit like that.
And just think, if you can do that as a receiver, what that does for you and your quarterback's relationship, his confidence in him has got to be super high, and he'll look for him every time on those big third down plays.
Taylor. This is Bell on the dump off. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Give him 9 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 1.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Taylor. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23.
Nice job, nice patience right there. Put him on the right side, let him work his way across, put the ball in his hands, and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
Taylor now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12.
Check 26, check 26.
Out of the gun, it's Taylor. And that'll be incomplete. He was looking to hit his running back, Le'Veon Bell, that time. 3rd down here.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
Now the Bengals on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd down and 12. From the shotgun, it's Taylor. Hard throw, incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. And Gano's kick is right through. And that will cut the lead down to 13. So his third field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these threes into sixes.
And sevens, and probably even eights. You know, as a kicker, you just head out when you're called upon, so he's done his job. It's the rest of the offense that needs to get it in gear. They want to close this gap.
So the Broncos coming out now. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Second and 10 now, Wilson. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Robert Quinn able to collapse the pocket and drop him for a loss of a yard. The Broncos on third down, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 11. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. They go play action here on 1st down. So they took a shot on 1st down but couldn't connect.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield, but that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Taylor incomplete on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10.
Slow. Z.
Taylor to throw again. Forced out to his left. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Give him 30 yards there.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Bengals. They've got the football, but they trail here as we get rolling in quarter number 4. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Taylor. Being chased out left. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. From the gun, it's Taylor. Getting it out left side to Sanu. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Mohamed Sanu, 36 yards. And the Bengals have got it back to a 1-score game. Gano the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Gano out to kick this one away. Green to bring it back. And some strong running. And he'll be out of bounds across the 25. The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. They've been asleep for a little while on this side of the football, Charles, and the score is just a one-score game now. Haven't had any points this half. What gives?
Let's go old school here. All right, let's get back to the basics. Get back to running the football, high-percentage throws. Find the guys that eat pressure and make plays for you and make sure they touch it.
Henry's got it out on the left side. He's still barreling through. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That one goes for 24 yards.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, fourth quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Again, it's Yeldon. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation when they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
Just week one, but already plenty of intrigue with the games going on, and this one no different as we come up on a 1st and 10. Wilson. And a dump off to White. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and that'll bring up second down.
Now, that's the type of play that gives you a chance to win. Nothing forced downfield where you don't have a guy open. Swing it out to the back, on maybe even check it down, whatever you want to call it. Gain of 5. You're just trying to get 4 on first down. They're ahead of the chains now.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. From the gun, it's Wilson. And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a first down. Trailing in the 4th, this close of a game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. To throw is Wilson, operating from the gun. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it a second down.
14.
From the gun, Wilson. And caught right side, Green. That good for 6 as they keep this drive right on rolling.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
From the red zone now, here's Wilson on first down. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Broncos will extend their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. And this one's caught. And their 4th quarter lead grows by a couple more. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the inline. The Bengals getting set to go. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now Taylor looking deep downfield. And that's caught inside the 35. And they do finally get him, but he takes it to the 25. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. Throwing now, Taylor on first down. Buying time to his left. This is caught. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. In for the score. And the Bengals able to get this back within a touchdown. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a one-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high-percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
This one takes now a hit and a loose football. And I think he was able to get back on it. He was. So they will get the ball after all, but that could have been a disaster.
I didn't do this in college, but I did it in high school. When you return kicks and you lose it yourself, the panic that goes through you and the determination to get the ball back, I don't even know how to describe it. And I think we just saw an example there.
Yeah, and the relief when you get it back like he did.
Yeah, you go to the sidelines, you know you're going to get yelled at, but you can handle it because you got the ball back.
And that is incomplete.
Okay, let's decide here. He was open, right? Not extraordinarily open, but open enough that if you're an NFL quarterback,
yeah,
you got to make that throw, right? Yeah. That's got to be complete.
9 times out of 10, that's a completed pass.
Yeah, he missed that one and missed it in a big way.
Wilson wants to throw it. This is Yeldon on the dump off. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. Give him 6 on the play, and all of a sudden here it's third down. Throwing now is Wilson. He hits White, complete. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. 8 yards there on a first down.
Well, they got the yardage they needed there, picked up the first down, got out of bounds. How about the urgency that they have, as well as they understand where they are on the field?
They'll run it here. This is James White. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. And now the Bengal defense here calling a timeout, as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Von Miller in there to record another sack, their 6th of the afternoon. And the job becomes twice as difficult now after the sack. It's 2nd and 20. To throw is Wilson. Goes underneath here to White. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. 5 yards on the pickup. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. They'll run it now out of the gun. Yeldon fighting. He lost the football. And the Bengals have recovered it. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Back to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
Back to throw. And an alley to run. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a third down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down.
Slow.
He's back to throw. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. This defense has watched their lead dwindle away. This is where they really need to bow up. They executed well there.
And it's often hard after you've played really well early and then you kind of relax a little bit to step on the gas again. They just did it on the last play. Looks like they want to finish this one off.
Here we go. It's Taylor on fourth down. And he's got Sanu. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. He'll look to throw. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. And now time for one final play that has to be obviously in the end zone.
Can't wait to see what they call, but you want to get it to your best player. Sometimes you have to do it by formation. Move everyone to one side, and maybe he gets a one-on-one isolated on the backside.
And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. Taylor incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10. One last shot for Taylor. Dancing to his left. And it's caught. It's a touchdown with zeros on the clock. And an extra point will send us to OT.
Well, there's no doubt they just seized the momentum with that one. They can go ahead and kick the extra point here and ride that home wave on into overtime.
Oh, he missed. He missed the extra point. They got the touchdown they desperately needed on the final play, but the PAT is no good, and they go down in defeat. And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, week one. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day, opening game. There's just nothing like it because you really build to a crescendo. But the best part for us is that crescendo lasts for a while. Opening game here, an entire season. We get into the playoffs, to the Super Bowl. I was really excited. I could barely sleep last night. I can't imagine being a player.
So for Denver, they can breathe a sigh of relief as they're able to eke out the 1-point victory here in the opener. And they'll return home next week to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll try to get back on the beam next week as they'll head to Cleveland to take on the Browns. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
you.